All right, so the theme for July is living everyday wonder, relationship. The topic for today is we are star stuff. So first I'll start us off with an inspired reading from my poem about nature, and we can claim nature as God. So let's see. Come walk with me, letting nature reveal her wisdom. Let's escape the demands of the city, taking refuge in the sanctuary, as metaphors for perfect living emerge from God's creatures, who revel in their undisturbed habitat. Come, claim your day with this rising sun, a moment of presence, a soulful creation, finding your purpose as sure as Mama Wood Duck leading her family of ducklings. Your purpose. Marvel at the antics of life teeming in water. Take gratitude into your day along with a little play. Come, complete your day with the setting sun. The purple rose sky upon the marshy waters as blue herons and milky swans come home with their prey. Stand tall and claim your space. Be seen like the great egret, unflapped and unencumbered. There is a whole world happening here. Let's pause. Let's put a pause on the circus of social media. Trade in your phone for a journal and pen. Pull up a chair. Netflix can wait. God is trying to speak to us. Let's open our senses and connect with our hearts. Let's open our senses and connect with the hearts. For here is fodder. Here is art at play. And also beauty and serenity. Come, walk with me. Let us receive a little soul food, soaking it all up to take back into our lives. Now, a little bit lighter, a little bit taller, and a little bit wiser still. Come, walk with me. Thank you. And now, let us listen to the wisdom of Dr. Ernest Holmes. All of our memories of the past will be healed if our communion with nature and with spirit becomes complete. Let us affirm together. Okay, here we go. Let us affirm together. Where I am, God is. Where I go, God is. So it is.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to come over here. All right. That was beautiful, wasn't it? What a beautiful prelude. Actually, that could be a sermon in and of itself. It was so profound. Thank you so much, Dr. Ami. You know, I give her the topic when it's her turn. I say, "What do you have for me?" You know, and so she came up with this. And usually, I just take a few lines out, and I thought, you know, let's just do the whole thing today. So it was so beautiful. So, did you know that when our solar system was formed, the sun was in charge? So the planets started a revolution. You were all ready for something serious, weren't you? Well, I have another one for you. What do you call seagulls that live by the bay? Bagels. Oh, you're right. Bagels. So So, living everyday wonder, relationship. And today the focus is on relationship with nature, as you saw in that beautiful poem. So, I want to return to something that Eugene said when he was here, because I think it's so important to really keep going back to this idea over and over again. If you are not living everyday wonder, if you're not living in awe and wonder of life and all that's around you, what does that mean? It means you're not paying attention. So if you're not living everyday wonder and you're not seeing the magic and the mystery and the beauty and the grace of life all around you, then you're not paying attention. So it's really about present moment awareness, and that's what I'm going to be bringing forth in this message today. So let's go back to what we know in our hearts to be true, is that everything seen and unseen in the universe is in constant motion. We call this the process of creation. And we talk about the author of all of this as the creator. Another name for God, spirit, the source. There's so many different ways that we could describe this presence. And Ernest Holmes speaks to the idea that it's the ideas in the mind of God unfolding that is the process of creation, and that we are full participants in it, that we participate in that because we are individualizations of that one presence. And so our word, our thought, what we focus on is our participation in creation, because thoughts become things, ideas become expressions, creative expressions. So Holmes would say that God is molding itself into new forms to enjoy itself. I like that. It's for the joy of creation. And it reminds me of anyone who's in the creative arts, whether it's poetry like Dr. Ami, or artwork like Reverend Linda or Lisa or Shia or Sally, the people who, Sharon as well, or the creation of music, our music team. All of these different ways of creative expression are God individualized as us in the flow of creation. And it's not just people who call themselves artists. Every single one of us, with our thoughts, with where we place our attention, are creating. We are creating our life experience. And so we are made out of this God stuff. We are the essence of the divine individuals, and these bodies, temples that we live in, is made out of God stuff or star stuff. We are star stuff. And then when you think about the nature of this presence, all we need to do is look at nature, and what are the qualities that we notice? Beauty, color, life, love, order, harmony, intelligence, abundance, power. Those qualities that are reflecting the divine presence itself, and those qualities are in us, each and every one of us. In fact, nobody is lacking in it. It's already there. It's just a matter of bringing it into expression. So then when we talk about being whole, perfect, and complete, that's what we mean, is that in essence we are, and yet we are ever in the process of unfolding those qualities in our lives. So today the focus is on the spiritual practice of engaged relationship, and in particular with cultivating a loving relationship with all nature. And I was thinking about this. We've talked about creating how we create society, our relationship with society, our relationship with other humans, and now we're expanding that to all of nature, which includes those things I just talked about. Because when we talk about nature, we're talking about all of it, everything in the universe. So in particular, though, I'd like us to focus on nature today, on nature as animals and plants and minerals. Of course, we're an animal as well, but plants and minerals, and the cosmos itself. And so let's first of all think about what happens when we contemplate the cosmos, the vastness. And, with all of these new photos coming in from the James Webb telescope, how many have been watching that or looking at it? Or, in fact, I noticed my son-in-law, Ryan, had on his phone, on the front of his phone, he had one of those photos of one of those beautiful shots of from the Webb telescope. Which one does Dan have up there? Oh, that's kind of one of the more famous ones for sure. And so what happens is when we do contemplate something over a period of time, something happens to us inside. As we contemplate the expansiveness, our consciousness expands to another level. And so I wanted to share, first of all, how this contemplating the cosmos has touched some of the current astronomers, the modern astronomers of our time. And I'm just going to give you two, and I know there's so many that we could include. But Neil deGrasse Tyson wrote or said at one point in time, "When I look up at the sky, I know that yes, we are part of this universe. We are in this universe. But perhaps more important than both of those is that the universe is in us." And I think we would take it one step further in our teaching. The universe is as us, is us. Carl Sagan, "We are made of star stuff," our topic for today. "We are a way for the cosmos to know itself." We are a way for the cosmos, and the cosmos being the life of God, the source of all that is. God knowing itself in, through, and as us, the cosmos or the universe knowing itself in, through, and as us. Joseph Taylor Jr., Nobel Prize winner in physics for the discovery of the first known binary pulsar, and his work, which supported the Big Bang Theory, said, "A scientific discovery is also a religious discovery. There is no conflict between science and religion. Our knowledge of God is made larger with every discovery we make about the world." So the intersection of science and religion, which is something that Ernest Holmes said that he was dreaming about the day when this would happen, and it is happening. And as a result of this expanded awareness, we are falling in love with the universe. We're falling in love with that greater cosmos and the beauty of it when we take the time and contemplate it and its vastness. Our brothers and sisters in the indigenous cultures have cultivated this expanded awareness and this loving relationship with all of life by spending hours contemplating Mother Earth. And I'd like to illustrate that with this essay that I found online, written by Ilarion Merculeaf, who grew up in St. Paul Island off the coast of Alaska. So it's way north. It's like above the Aleutian Islands. And he starts off by saying, "Since the age of 6, I have known how to get out of my head." I've known how to get out of my head. That's how he starts his article. He says, "As one of the last Anangan Aleut from the indigenous culture to experience a true traditional upbringing, I was allowed to walk out to the bird cliffs at a very young age." And he talks about how it was a 6-mile walk, but at age 6, he was allowed to go out there by himself. He said, "In the midst of tens of thousands of migratory seabirds that came to the island to breed, I noticed how thousands of the birds darted diagonally up and down, left and right and left, flying at different speeds and in different directions." And these are all different kinds of birds as well. He made a huge list, which I wasn't going to give, but there were like 12 different kinds of birds, all coming for breeding at the same time. And if you can imagine this constant motion, all different ways, he said, without ever even clipping another's wing. He noticed this at age 6. And he said, in my 6-year-old mind, I decided that the only difference between the birds and myself was that they drew upon a vast field of awareness. And he wanted to experience that vast field of awareness. So what did he do? He spent hours just quieting his mind. And he said that after several months, I developed the capacity to maintain awareness without thinking for several hours at a time. Awareness without thinking, we call that pure awareness. We can call that a deep meditative state of unity and oneness. So he said, that was when magic happened. I could sense many things I'd never experienced before, and my world expanded enormously. From then on, I understood how Unangan people received their spiritual instructions for living, principles that helped them to sustain communities for thousands of years. And so he listed a lot of the principles, and they would be no surprise to any of us who've been in this teaching for a long time. They were things like focus, we would call it focus on what you want. He said, they say focus on moving forward. And they said, don't focus on fighting what is going on right now. We call that resist, don't resist what is. And so he talked about climate change, things like climate change and pollution. He says, don't fight against them. Focus on what you want and move in that direction with your actions. So it's working from a place of love instead of fear. I love this planet, so what am I going to do to support the planet, which I know is supporting my life and all life? So he said that the Unangan elders called this experience listening to the heart. It refers not to feelings, but to a deeper portal of profound interconnectedness and awareness that exists between humans and all living things. Centering oneself in the heart provides an inner wisdom that keeps us in right relationship with all life, thus ensuring a long-term survival and well-being, individually and collectively. Our fallible thought processes regularly deceive us. Yet when guidance or information comes from the heart, it can be relied upon and has impeccable integrity. Expanded awareness. So beautiful. So when we contemplate the cosmos, when we contemplate nature, we're doing ourselves a huge favor. When we take the time. I know I was talking to Tom Clark recently, and he was talking about how he's been inspired by Thoreau, and he just wants to find that place where he can sit and be quiet and be with nature, right, Tom? And so I think many of us are feeling that calling of the heart, because we know that this is part of helping humanity move forward and out of some of these crises that we have. It's that unified state of consciousness, that pure awareness from which all solution arises, all inventiveness and innovation arises to meet anything that comes up in our world. So what I would like you to do right now, and I've done this for several weeks, and I've found that the feedback has been really good about it. So find one or two others around you, turn to them, and share what are some ways in which you feel called to be in greater connection with the cosmos and with nature around you. And so just, and then if you've had some experiences, share those. So let's just take a few minutes now. Find somebody close to you and start your conversation. Just take a moment and breathe and stretch and yawn. And just ask yourself, what is my takeaway? Just think about, what is my takeaway for today? Just make note of that. And I'd like to leave you with this more expanded reading from Ernest Holmes. He said, and he's speaking about the healing power of communing with nature. He says, all of our memories of the past will be healed, and all the pent-up energies of unexpressed desires will flow out from us in joyful expression if our communion with nature and with the Spirit becomes complete. And so you might say, well, what does that mean, becomes complete? So I'd like to leave you with this. I'd like you to recall Hilarion Merculeif's explanation or his experience as a 6-year-old when he talked about sitting with the migratory birds and desiring to have that same kind of expanded awareness to the point where he quieted his mind, let go of all thinking, and attained this state of pure awareness. Could that be what he means by completion? Think about it. And then let's together say namaste. The light in me bows to the light in you, and so it is. Deb.
Sweet.